Hello viewers and welcome to another race on Project Cars, and again we see the Audi e-tron Quattro here racing at Spa. Now you'll notice it's very dark in the top camera. It will brighten up as the weather brightens. Again here using the new rain effects, using medium detail. In a later race later in the week I'll be using a higher detail, which is now possible thanks to the ever-improving optimizations. Racing at Spa in the rain, always a challenge, so I've got it set here to a storm, and then I've got it going to heavy fog in the rain, which is very challenging, and that will clear up as the race goes on. Loving the weather conditions. I mean, they really worked hard on making great sort of realistic racing weather conditions here, as well as improved lighting. The only thing I do have an issue with is the tinting in some of the cockpits. You can see here that the glass in this cockpit is tinted, and I just find that sometimes I just can't see well enough in the cockpit view. I don't know if there's a way to remove that or not, if anyone has any advice, but certainly it makes it very dark in cockpit. If I was outside the car it would be as bright as it is in the screen, as you can see below, but it's very dark for me driving, and you know, it makes it quite challenging at times. But either way, I know the circuit, but even when you know the circuit, as visibility drops, some of the corners, a bit like driving at night, you feel like they're going on and on and on. So really just finding my feet with this car, you know, shifting up how quick I can get on the power, where the car's sliding and some of the high-speed corners. It does slide out in that corner. Here you can, you know, once you're fully up to speed, handles pretty well through these corners, though there's a little bit of an understeer, hint of understeer through there, so you just account for it. And again, I oversteer the car into this next corner. It's not bad, not bad. Possibly a hint of a lift there as well, just keeping it nice and steady into the braking zone, not knowing exactly where to brake, braking a little bit earlier than usual, and gently on the power, because the car can spin out so quickly on those slow corners, and it's not worth it. You know, you can end up spinning out just trying to save a bit of speed, but good traction on the exit, and putting me into first place. A little bit of a bump there, the other car just turning in, sweeping in. That threw me off slightly, but back on the power now, and it's got a bit unbalanced. And you can see the fog starting to come in now, and the fog effect. I don't know how it's going to look on the replay, but certainly in car you're going to see that fog effect really increase to eventually I could barely see anything. But it was good. It was good to have a challenge. You know, you're racing with a car that's sort of sliding about a bit, combined with weather conditions that really prevent you seeing where you're going. But I just love racing at night now. I've got a new lighting sort of structure on the next video where I'm slowly improving the lighting, because you can't see my hands on the wheel at the moment. You will. I'm just putting a little spotlight together that so you can see the wheel even in car. But you get that kind of immersiveness where you can't see the edges of the screens, and it just makes such a huge difference. It really does. Some of the audio is really good on some of these cars as well. Just once you're in there, and you know, you've got that butt kick of vibration, and the headphones up loud, it's a really intense experience. So Poo one's always tricky, because you kind of have to oversteer on the beginning part of it, then it opens up nicely for you, but there's so many areas where it's easy to make a mistake. And here as well, get on the power too quickly and the car's always close to spinning off there. And again, just getting the car in early, downhill gradient pushes the car wide on the exit, then you can get on the power. Here, turning early again, want to clip that curb a little bit on the inside. Funny actually, curbs, I'll mention this in other videos, but you know, years ago you could never drive on the white lines. Some circuits you can now, because actually paint grippy paint on there, which I think is a bit of a cheat. I always used to feel that it would be right to avoid the white lines. They should be super slippery in these conditions. These days actually paint grippy paint on curbs and lines to improve in those areas. Braking's not too bad for this car. Just mainly wanting to get it through that section. As you can see, the fog really coming in now. And this is what I mean by the dynamic weather really affecting your driving. You know, I'm changing gear at different times. You know, I'm modulating my driving as the weather conditions are changing, because fog's coming in, the rain is reducing. It's not making a huge difference. And look, we can't even see Eau Rouge yet. We're going towards it. Love it, love it. I've no idea where I'm going. I just know it. So, you know, it's great. And the fog gets worse and worse over the course of the next lap. I really like that effect. So we've got heavy rain combined with fog at the moment. Doesn't seem so bad in the replay as it does in my view for me. Certainly in my race view it was getting increasingly limited, as you can see. It's just nice to see those new rain effects. So visually, obviously, Project Cars always great. Handling wise, I like it a lot. It's not for everybody. It's amazing, really. There's two types of crowd out there. You've got the crowd that love their sims and say it's not sim enough, and you've got a crowd that love their arcade and say it's too hard. So you know, it's got a good balance, I think, between the two. If you're a motorsport fan, I can't see how you can fail to enjoy it. Again, going to pull on there nice and early, knowing you're just flat out into this section because you know the corner goes round. I can't see where I'm going though. I'm braking before I've seen the corner here. I've not seen my brake marker or anything like that, so I just know where it goes. You're just driving into nothingness. Love that feeling, love that challenge. Brilliant, brilliant. And that's dynamic weather for you. And as the video goes on, the fog will eventually clear, the rain will eventually reduce, and it just transforms how you approach the lap. So I'm being a bit more tentative, just a little bit more tentative in a few corners, so my braking might have been a metre or two earlier than usual, because I know the corner's there. Flat through here, of course, why not? Can't see where I'm going, but I know it's flat, so you just got to go for it. Making a rough judgment on braking here again, can't see the corner, so I know it's there and abouts. Probably a little bit deeper than I'd like, but not too bad given the conditions. If you're watching racing in these conditions, goodness, it would be tricky. Very dangerous actually racing in these conditions, because if there was an accident you wouldn't know it until you was on top of it. Now again going towards Eau Rouge again, and no idea where I'm going in terms of visuals. It was just a case of knowing the circuit. Love it. Look at that. Can't see anything. Brilliant. So I'm loving it, I'm really enjoying it. I've got to get on some other games as well. I'm going to be checking out what I'm going to run on the channel. There'll be some Drive Club, there'll be some race room experience and other stuff as well. Depends what I have time to do. And of course in a few weeks time we've got WRC5, just a launch selection on those videos. Again, which has proven to be better than we expected. Certainly very enjoyable for console owners in 2015. Next year it's going to be very competitive in rally. So lots to look forward to, as ever. And if I get on the power here again, down towards Pouhon again. And, enjoying this. I was just enjoying this drive around, really. Tricky conditions. So it's going to be lots of racing games coming up on the channel, and looking forward to running all of those. And of course, Need for Speed. Yes, it's an arcade game. It's not for everybody, but we'll be covering that in near sort of November time and running that. And Forza 5 as well. Hopefully some Forza 5. Fingers crossed. We'll get some access to that as well, and then we can run some Forza 5 coverage. So lots to look forward to in terms of racing fans. I mean, it's a massive year, really. Racing games are getting there, aren't they? Bit by bit, they're improving all the time. I mean, look at that. It's amazing in the replay, frankly. That really is, from where I've come from in terms of racing games in the last 30 years. Was it 31 years since I completed my first racing arcade machine, Sega Turbo, and give you an idea about arcade. When you were racing, occasionally an ambulance would overtake your Formula 1 car for no reason, really. I don't even know what the ambulance was there for, but that was arcade, and it was a million miles from where we are now. Driving along coastlines in your Formula 1 car, being overtaken by ambulances, just dodging everything you could. Learning the difference between high and low gears. Loved it. Gear stick was amazing in those things, really nice and clunky.
Don't switch off. We're building a really good gap now to second. Keep it up.
So good gap. You can see how the conditions are just opening up for me now in terms of the fog is reducing ever so slightly. Really nice. Wonderful seeing the way it's come in, the subtlety to it. It's great. Great to see developers really working on weather. I mean, rain has been mentioned to me by a developer recently as a bit of a benchmark now. Everybody's trying to make the best rain, and in many ways that's because Drive Club raised the bar, and well done to the Drive Club team, for improving their game in much the same way as Project Cars. I mean, Project Cars had a difficult launch, and you know, the team's still hard at work on it, developing it bit by bit, and well done to them. You know, I hope that they keep on developing this to its true potential. They fix the bugs, and everybody can enjoy it. You know, and I think that it's been an epic production for the team. But either way, it's great to see them developing it bit by bit, and I continue to enjoy it immensely. You know, great selection of tracks and cars. That's not to say there isn't more in the way of cars I'd like to see in the game, types of race cars and stuff, but and tracks. But there's a lot to look forward to, I'm sure, in terms of DLC, keeping the audience going. Oh, we'd like to have leagues on VVV at some stage if we can find someone to help out to run them. But it's certainly something we'd like to do at some point. But, for myself, just so busy with all the new racing content as we come around these last few corners on this final lap. What was an enjoyable, though I have to say quite an intense racing experience. You might not look it, but I was concentrating pretty hard there to make sure that the car was going in a straight line, and you know, during those weather conditions, just picking up on little details that approximate the braking zones and stuff like that, because it's very easy to make mistakes. But we come around the final corner, and that's it, coming down for this race in Project Cars. And as ever, there'll be more from me very soon.